Today is Sunday and it's early in the morning and I've decided to come to the woods to do some woodland photography. It's a beautiful day, it's not too bright, it's not too hot. It's a nice light cloud up there. So I reckon I should be able to get some nice photographs today in these woods. I'm not after landscapes, woodland landscapes. I'm not after looking up at the sky and looking, getting wide. I've only brought with me a 50mm lens and a 2x teleconverter as well, because I'm interested in getting close up on detail in the woods, and there's going to be plenty of it for me to choose from. So these are the sort of stuff I'm looking for, these leaves, obviously there's plenty of leaves around, I'm in the bleeding woods, what do you expect? But this is the sort of leaf I'm looking for. It looks nice and light, it's in a nice location for light as well. It's down to me to try and make a composition around the photograph and, to make it a little bit more interesting maybe. You can see this is really nice when the sun hits these leaves underneath. You get that nice glow and you've got some shadows going on as well around where the leaves are piled on top of each other, and with the sun lighting it that way you can see all the veins in each leaf. Just lovely detail. I've just seen one right there. I liken it to urban photography or street photography, where you just go out on the street and there's so much to photograph if you open your eyes and open your mind. A little bit like woodland photography. Around me here there is so much to photograph, and I've only got 24 shots in a roll of film in this camera here. I've got the Chinon CE5 camera with a roll of Ilford FP4. I got this for about 50 quid, about 4, maybe 5 years ago, I can't remember now, but it was a right bargain at the time. It was local and I couldn't resist it. It was such a bargain, £50. These things weren't exactly expensive back in the day. There was more of a kind of, I suppose, hobbyist's starter camera maybe back in the day, but it had everything you needed from a camera. I mean, it's got aperture priority function, it's got its shutter speeds from 2 seconds all the way to 2,000th of a second, a great range of lenses. The ISO ranges was up to 3200 as well. You could get a power winder for it like I've got here. It also did auto lenses as well. There was only a very selected few Chinon auto lenses. That's what those little connectors are there for, and it works fantastic. The lens on this 50mm lens goes from 1.7 all the way to 22, so it's nice and fast lens as well, and it's multi-coated, so none of that ghosting or flaring that I'm going to be getting with this lens. Also gives me a little tiny bit more contrast because of that, and it's an absolutely beautiful lens. It's not actually for reflective use. I've used it for diffusion and also as a background, so if I find any decent leaves on the floor that are brown and dried up, I can take a photograph of them in natural light and put them on this. Put them on this as a background. So that's what I'm going to do now, because I've just seen some really nice leaves on the floor around me. This is a nice leaf. Look at this one, dried up leaf. It's got some curl in it, which will throw some shadows in there as well. Let's put that on the background, get a picture, see how it looks. And I've also got the teleconverter I just mentioned here as well. I'll show you what else I've brought out with me for this little project today. I've also brought out a little light, just in case I need to light certain parts of a leaf or something, or get some shadows going on. And I've also brought out some filters as well. I've got a polarizer, orange filter, and also a green filter as well. So the orange filter, just in case there's a little bit of sky maybe in my shots. The green filter, just in case I want to lighten any of the leaves. I've also brought out with me a grey card, which is an old t-shirt. I think it might be an old pair of pants that I cut up, but it's perfect for me. And also a Sekonic light meter as well, just in case I want to do any spot metering around any of the scenes that I want to shoot. And also with the FP4 inside, I've set this camera to 400, so in effect I'm shooting this FP4 at 400. That's right, I'm underexposing by 2 stops. When I get back, I'm going to overdevelop to compensate for that, because it's quite flat and dull in here. Possibly with this light it might help, but with the push in this film I'll be able to get a bit more contrast, a bit more punch, a little bit more grain out of the film, just give the print some life. I'm intending to go in a dark room, by the way. Give the print a little bit more life later on. So that's why I'm pushing the film, also to give me a little bit more speed if I need it handheld. First thing I've got to do is load the film, because I ain't got it inside. The film is sitting here. I said the other day about learning by my mistakes about loading film out in the daylight. The other week I loaded the roll of film in the sunlight, and it sort of gave me piping effect throughout the first few frames of the film. It's quite subdued where I am now, so it'll be a fine. I'm in fern heaven now. I feel like that film, Gorillas in the Mist, you know, just going to sit down, pick me fleas out my face and start eating them. I've got an idea. I've just found these leaves on the floor. What if I was to break them off and lay them down on this brown looking sand, muddy sand, whatever it is, upside down? Tell you what, let's just take one leaf. Let's try that. We'll get all the crap away. So we've just got a nice clean background. So I'm going to take a picture of these little leaves here. The light is shining on them really nice, but I'm going to wet them up and use the water. So I've got the water there. I want to try and make droplets if I can, so what I'm going to do is practice on another leaf and just throw it. That's what I've just done by throwing it on. You can see it just looks like a mess. It doesn't look like droplets at all, so I'll have to try another method. Flick it, it's still quite blotchy. What if No, spitting on it's no good. Maybe if I spat a bit less. Okay, that might work. I think that might work. Trying to simulate rain. Okay, that seems to have worked. I've now got this rain effect on the leaves. That works best. Spraying it up out my mouth and it comes down on the leaves. Brilliant. Oh, wonderful. That's worked. And I've watered the plants as well. A nice thing with these telephoto extenders as well, or this doubler as they call it on the side of the camera, it's nice for bokeh shots. So if you're looking up at something and the sunlight is in the trees in the background, just sort of whispering through leaves and stuff, and you shoot at, in this case, 1.7 or its widest, you can generally get some nice bokeh looking stuff if you're focusing on something in the foreground. Like this stem here, reaching up, you can see in the background all that sun dappling around the leaves and the trees in the background. So with that telephoto on at 1.7, I focus on that stem and all that background becomes this sort of nice sort of bokeh look. And another good thing about bringing the light out is you can light leaves from underneath, such as this leaf here. You can light it underneath and get more detail in your photograph. Obviously don't get the light in the shot, but you can see where I'm coming from. Now this is nice, look, for texture. Look at this old tree and this ivy growing around. A nice close-up with one of these ivy things here and the tree. But I want to try the water trick maybe. Now, I think I've done it too much. It's now glistening in the sunlight, which doesn't look very nice, because that will, in a print, that will be pure white blobs, which will look. Oh, this is nice. Yeah, there in the sunlight it's too much. In a print, that will just come out like big white blobs. It will look horrible. I could use the polarizer, but I'm not going to be bothered to get that out actually. So I'm just looking at other leaves that might look as nice. So I've nearly done the whole roll. I've only got 24 shots in this FP4. I didn't go for the 36 because I knew I didn't really want to shoot 36 photographs. Ideally, maybe I could have just come in with medium format and shot 10, maybe 12, maybe 15, you know, frames. Doing the same thing, I'm just taking photographs of close-up of leaves, and that's what I came out to do. I wasn't interested in wide shots in the woodland, I wasn't interested in rows of trees, I just wanted to get close-up stuff and use the natural light that's coming down and get different angles and see what I can go back with. So, you know, hopefully I'll have 24 frames inside where I can pick 1 or 2 for a print. If not, they might all come out rubbish, I don't know, but if they do, you know, I'm not going to beat myself up over it. I've enjoyed myself coming out for a walk around these lovely woods with an old camera and, you know, just enjoying nature and taking photographs. So if none of them come out, no bother to me. I can always come back and do it again another time. But at least those photographs that I've got, I can learn from, study them and look at them and go, okay, next time I might try this, or next time I might try that. And whilst on the subject of compositions, I've got an ebook out you might be interested in. The link is in the description of this video. And there's over 270 pages packed with various compositions, illustrations, photographs and ideas to help you with your own photography. So if you're interested in downloading that ebook and supporting the channel, the link is in the description. There's tons of information in there. Let's get on with the video. And so I did learn. I looked at the photographs that I took and I thought I didn't really like many of them. My idea was simplicity, my idea was minimalistic, and every time I took photographs of the leaves on trees, they just looked a bit messy. Apart from the one that I took on the floor around that sort of muddy sandy stuff, I thought that came out really nice. So it's the next day and I've come back to do the same thing again, but this time look for leaves and try and put them in places around the woods, on trees, on the floor, or wherever I sort of think they might look good. I'd do the whole thing again. Like I said, it's about taking time, taking photographs, learning from what you've done and seeing if maybe this or that might work next time. That's what I've come out to do. Just like this tree stump here, which has fallen down. Some lovely sunlight falling on it. If I can find a couple of nice leaves to put on there, I've got my background, which is apt to where I am, the woodland area, and also I'll be able to make it minimalistic. So I'll find a nice looking leaf. There you go, that one can sit on there. How about that? And it's not early in the morning either. It's about 4:30 in the afternoon, so the sun is quite low. Gotcha. I've changed films as well. I'm now using Kodak Tri-X 400. I've run out of the Ilford FP4. I've got some more in order, but I've run out of that, so I'm on Kodak Tri-X 400. I didn't choose that initially because I just think that film, I like that for my street photography generally, not for this sort of stuff. But we'll give it a go, eh? See how it looks. And I've also brought out a piece of card with me as well. When I did it yesterday on the diffuser, I actually brought that diffuser out mainly just in case I wanted to diffuse any light. But I did think to myself it might make a nice background. But when I looked at the photographs, looking close up, you could see the material or the fabric of the diffuser, and it didn't look right. You had a natural object such as a leaf on a man-made object such as a diffuser. So I've brought out some grey card with me. Now this is sort of paper made out of wood anyway. It might look quite nice. We'll try that and see how it comes out. But let's find some backgrounds and some subjects. As if I would. Just waiting for any of you guys to get tippy tapping on the comments. You can't be throwing stuff in the woods. No, you can't. Don't litter your own area around. This comes back home with me. So because the light has just started to go down a bit more, I need a little bit more speed out of the camera, or I need to use a tripod. So I'm going to be using a tripod for the next couple of shots on this log with all this moss. And this is the travel tripod from Freewell. It's only light, it's small, fits in my camera bag nicely. Usually I use it for my vlogging stuff with the video cameras on, but I've switched it over. I'm going to put the photography camera on here, the Chinon on top of this, and I'm going to do some slower speeds. I haven't got a release cable with me, so I'm going to have to use the timer. That's no problem.
That's right, I'm not into all that, I've only got the phone.
There's a woman behind me, bless her. I did have some intentions to make some prints of my endeavours, but I think a bit more time and practice is needed before I get the negatives I initially envisioned. But that's not to say I think my photographs were rubbish, far from it. I think some of them turned out nice. The idea was good as well as enjoyable, and I had a nice walk in the woods with purpose shooting an old classic camera. Maybe next time I can spend some more time looking for similar photography subjects and the conditions might be perfect, maybe after it has rained. I do think the water droplets on the leaves add a bit of drama to the photographs, and I think I was on the right track of finding interesting leaves on the floor to place against other woodland backdrops. So this photography exercise has definitely helped me understand what I like and what I don't like about woodland photography and what to look for in my next escapade in the woods. So watch out for another video on this subject, because I think it's a great subject to tackle where patience and persistence will lead to some awesome prints. Thanks again for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it's given you some ideas and inspiration to try out yourself if you live near woodland areas, and I'll catch you next time.